Hello and welcome to the shop. A while back I installed this backer board and this shelf in an effort to help me get a little better organized with my turning tools. I also built this rack up here for all of my collet chucks, and that's kind of where the project sort of floundered and ended. I've had a pile of stuff, you might have seen in the background, just junk piled on this shelf forever. And today I finally decided it's time to change this. Let's get back to what we're doing and let's get organized. And what really gave me the kick to do that was I was looking for a set of jaws for one of my chucks. I could find 3 of them. The 4th one was buried in this pile of garbage, and it took me about 5 minutes to find it. And I said, that's enough. I don't want it anymore. So I put together this rack for the jaws of my chucks. I started this project by cutting a bunch of 1/2-inch strips. These are leftover pieces from my record crate build. I then cut 45-degree angles on each end of a block that is 2 inches on the inside. I'm going to glue those together, and that will form a nice little pocket for my jaw to set in. After making all my cuts, I knocked the rough edges off with a little bit of sandpaper, and I'm using these picture frame jigs to glue everything up at a 45-degree angle. I wanted to take just a couple of seconds and show you how these mounts for my chuck jaws are evolving. Up top, you'll notice these are the original mounts that I made, and it's just basically 2 pieces of 1/2-inch wood glued together to form a 90-degree angle, and I just set the chuck jaw down in them. But one thing you'll notice, look at all this dead space right here. I don't want to waste that much space on my wall, so I came back, and at this point right here, the interior point, I cut a 45-degree miter. I was able to slide the jaws together, and you can see that I've taken this much space, which that's somewhere between 3/4 of an inch and an inch, out of the mounts. So this is less space that I'm going to be taking on my wall, and my chuck jaws will be stored in a more compact area. I just finished mitering all the corners on every one of my pieces. From edge to edge, this takes exactly 10 5/8 inches. What I'm going to work on now is I'm going to dig out a board that I can begin mounting these to, and then that board will hang in the shop, and I'll be able to display and store all of my chuck jaws. I found a really nice piece of MDF up in the loft, and I'm gluing all of my brackets to the MDF. I've got all 4 of the pockets for the sets of 4 jaws glued to this board. It's not ready to be trimmed to size yet because these have only been glued on for about a 1/2 hour. We're going to just let this dry overnight, and then I'll come back out and we'll square the left side and we'll square across the bottom. And then we'll figure out how we want to go about mounting it to our backer board. With the chuck jaw rack trimmed to size, I'm ready now to turn my attention to mounting it on the backer board. I've mounted the chuck rack to my backer board, and now I don't have to worry about losing any of my chuck pieces again. They're easily accessible and ready to go at a moment's notice. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is something I've needed to do for a very long time. And what finally gave me the desire to get it done is the other day I was searching for a set of jaws, and I could find 3 of the 4. Now the 4th one was on this shelf, but so was a huge pile of junk. That huge pile of junk has been transferred to a box, and now it's time to start going through that box and figuring out how I can mount those other items to this backer board, because that's what I built it for, so that everything I need for turning is within arm's reach, has a place, and can easily be picked up and used when I need it. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I want you to know that you are always welcome in my shop. Come back and see me again real soon, and have a great evening.